Yeah, definitely. I'm super excited for the opportunity. I want to thank Mrs. Benson, Mr. Loomis for giving me the opportunity to join the team. It's been a long year to be stuck home, not able to play football, but I'm super excited to finally get the opportunity again and hopefully make it a successful season.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right, y'all, if you want to put your questions in the chat, I'll go ahead and call on you and we'll get started. First one's from Amos Morale.
Yeah, just basically, how did the whole getting an opportunity to sign with the Saints come about?
Yeah, so obviously last year was really weird with COVID and everything, but so initially I was supposed to have my pro day actually at the Saints facility last year with Tulane as they do every year. That was washed because of COVID, and then the first time we really ended up talking again was this past pro day for this year's class. So thankfully they allowed me to come back there for it. Both Tulane and the Saints are okay with us coming back. The guys that graduated last year, and I did pretty well that day, which was I think 3 weeks ago now, and we kind of just started talking from there, and this is where it led us.
And kind of as a follow-up, obviously I know the opportunity presented itself, but what about it made it one that you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to come back to New Orleans, a city that I've really enjoyed being at for close to 2 years, and I was down there for my graduate program. I mean, it almost feels like a second home for me, being a guy from Connecticut. I mean, it's pretty far across the country, but I mean, I have some great friends down there, and I mean, both on the actual football player side. I mean, the guys at Tulane were absolutely awesome, and then just guys around Tulane's campus, and I met good friends down there, and kind of just enjoyed the city itself. So,
Next one's from Kyle Mosley.
Hey, welcome.
thank you.
Good. Hey, do you feel better about the opportunity to come back to New Orleans playing in the Superdome? You played for Tulane. How does that make you feel just coming back to this city?
Yeah, it's funny. You talked about playing in the Superdome. So we use the Superdome at Tulane as actually kind of an indoor practice facility for us during the season when it was a bad weather day. Obviously, the Saints were using their home practice facility, so we would bus downtown and get to actually work out in the dome early in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock. So it's hard not to think about that as a college player. Hey, what if I ever got the opportunity to play in here on Sunday and be the guys that are wearing the black and gold instead of the green and olive? So kind of like I said earlier, it's really like a home away from home, and it's something you think about and almost like a fantasy as a college player and say, hey man, this would be awesome for this to be my home, not just a place that I get to practice in. So it's really special in that sense for me. And then just like I said earlier, to be around the guys that I've already been around and a place that I've already been, I know that I enjoy being there. Is just makes it a little more special.
John DeSager.
Christian, how familiar are you with, I guess, the Saints' tendency to kind of treat everybody equal? Everybody starts on equal footing and given those equal opportunities. And is that what made this opportunity the most attractive for you?
Yeah, I think being a guy that I came from a small FCS school at first before I transferred to Tulane, I mean, having the equal opportunity is something that was important to me. Going from Brown to Tulane, I was looking for a spot where I wasn't going to be in a massive detriment, being a guy that's just transferring in. And I think being with a team that values players for their potential and what they can grow into rather than what they've accomplished so far, something that's really special to me, since I know that I'm in one of those spots where I'm not necessarily the guy with the best resume so far or the most applicable experiences, but a guy who's willing to work hard and put the best foot forward once I get down there.
Luke Johnson.
Hey, Christian, I think I missed the first few questions, so I apologize if this has already been asked. But when you were going through the free agency process last year, were you in contact with the Saints at that point? Or was this kind of something that was new for you?
A little bit of contact during the offseason or during the in-season last year and a little bit before the draft, but nothing too major. I think what hurt me the most was not having the pro day and kind of being able to put on some impressive numbers for the scouts at the time last year. But there was a little bit of an ongoing conversation, but nothing that ever really materialized into too much beyond that. I think it was tough just to be for a lot of teams to bring guys in knowing they had the certain restrictions with COVID. I mean, I don't know, workouts were significantly less last year than years previous. So I think that it was positive, but I wouldn't say it was anywhere near as significant as it was prior to the last couple of weeks.
Amos Morale.
Yeah, just what do you feel you bring to this Saints offensive line room, and what are some of the things you've been working on to kind of prepare yourself for when you got this opportunity?
Yeah, so I think of myself as a player who's smart first and foremost. I think that you can develop strength, you can develop knowledge about things, but I think that you kind of have to have a base level of, not to say intellect, but ability to learn things quickly. And I think that I'm a pretty quick learner. And I think beyond that, just being a hard worker. I mean, I'm more than thrilled to be the first guy there in the morning, the last guy to leave at the end of the day. You know, I'm looking forward to getting down there, and hopefully soon can kind of just prove that to the guys instead of just saying it. It's one thing to be able to say over a Skype call or a Zoom call, but to hopefully be able to get down there soon for voluntary workouts and get going before it's camp or anything like that, just to be able to kind of show my work ethic and my desire to be a part of the team is kind of really what I want to be able to do the most.
Paul Chestnut?
Yeah, Christian, what was that offseason like for you with the Steelers? And also, what's it like playing college ball at Brown? What was that like?
Yeah, so, well, I'll start with Brown first. I absolutely loved it up there. It was a spot where it was great for me. I think as a high schooler coming out, where it was about an hour and a half drive from home for my family and friends to come up. It was no problem at all. My family really enjoyed it. And I mean, everything about the school I really enjoyed. The coaching staff was awesome. The academic experience was absolutely awesome. But it was kind of unfortunate at the time of how things ended. But I'm thankful for Coach Fritz and everyone at Tulane for welcoming me down there once I kind of got that 6th year back of athletic eligibility. Steelers, it was awesome to be part of their program also, but it was different. I mean, it was off season and a preseason camp unlike any other year before with COVID. It was certainly strange to be doing virtual installs over the internet, trying to learn an offensive playbook over Zoom and the adaptations of that. But I mean, once you get there, football's football. I mean, the guys in the locker room are the guys in the locker room, and you kind of click a little bit better, of course, once you can actually meet someone in person. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity to have been able to get out there and work with them. But it was certainly shorter than I would have liked, and hopefully this can be a little bit more fruitful.
Kyle Mosley?
Hey, Christian, do you feel you're better at a guard position or center position?
I think just from volume of experience, I'm probably a little bit more natural at center. I'm happy to flop in between the two, center and guard, but I think just from the number of reps that I've had at full game speed, center would definitely be a little bit more of a natural position.
Amos Morale?
Yeah, just you kind of touched on the pro day, and obviously Jalen also got his opportunity with the Saints from that pro day. Just how fortunate do you feel that, you know, you guys actually had that opportunity to go back and work out?
Yeah, so Jalen, I mean, it's actually funny. So we both transferred into Tulane the same year. We were roommates for the entire year when I was down there. And then obviously we spent a lot of time together outside of football. So Jalen's a pretty good friend of mine from my experience of playing football at Tulane. And it's funny. I remember texting him as soon as I saw that he signed with the Saints and saying, man, we've been having a pretty positive conversation up until that point. I said, man, it'd be pretty fun if I ever got the opportunity to play with him again in the city of New Orleans again. So now that it's here, going to be more excited for it. But it's funny. Tulane posted a photo the other day of me holding him up in the end zone, I think after we scored in the FIU game or the Houston game. And I commented, hopefully we'll be able to do this soon. So it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to again.